SwitchBot has to be one of the fastest growing ecosystems in the smart home industry. They're constantly coming out with new products and improving upon their existing ones. The latest example of this is with this product right here, the SwitchBot Curtain 3. Now, SwitchBot accessories are amazing products that, if done right, can effortlessly blend into your routine. A few months back, I did a video on the SwitchBot Hub 2, which was SwitchBot's introduction into Matter, and that finally gave us HomeKit users native support for some of their products. And the SwitchBot Curtain 3 is in fact one of those products. This being a Matter product also means that it'll work with other smart home platforms like Amazon, Google, SmartThings, and more. And basically what this product is a simple plug-and-play device that makes your ordinary curtains smart with little to no effort. And to give you a few specs right out the gate, this features a 3,350 milliamp battery that can last you up to 8 months on a full charge. It also has two different modes: performance mode with a noise level of around 45 decibels, and new to this model is a quiet drift mode that operates at levels lower than 25 decibels. Also new to this model is a larger motor capable of even heavier curtains. The SwitchBot Curtain 3 is compatible with almost all curtain tracks, including R, U, and I-type tracks, and even telescoping rods. But before we dive any further into the review, I have to let you know that SwitchBot did send this product out free of charge. But by no means am I under any obligations with them, and as always, I'll do my very best to give you my honest thoughts and opinions. If you're interested in picking one up, there are affiliate links in the description to receive a limited time offer, or use this code on Amazon or Shopify for 10% off. Inside the box we get the main drive unit that houses the battery, and this comes in at about 8 inches and weighs a little over a pound, but it's significantly thinner than the Curtain 2, and it maintains that same clean minimalistic look. Not much different than the Curtain 2. Then we have the left and right side arm or hooks, the bead fixers, all of the mounting accessories, magnets, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and then the user manual. And before we move on, I want to share with you this little product right here. Exclusive to the SwitchBot Curtain 3, you can break free from wired charging with these swing arm solar panels that'll allow you to install your curtain and never have to worry about charging it. These are by far the easiest to set up. There's nothing that you have to do in the app. All you have to do is swivel them out to 180 degrees, plug them in, and then tuck them behind your curtains. I'll also show you a little bit on how the Curtain 3 can work in conjunction with the SwitchBot blind tilt. Now both of these can be exposed to HomeKit when you pair them with the Hub 2. And of course, everything you see here today, there'll be links for below in the description. Now there's two basic configurations to choose from depending on your needs. If you have a single curtain on your window, you can use a single SwitchBot to open it from the outside in. But if you have two curtains on a single window, you'll need two SwitchBot curtains in order to open them from the inside out on both sides. And this is the configuration that I've chosen to go with. And just as a quick tip, if you plan on installing the blind tilt on the same window, make sure that you do that while your curtains are off. It'll make the process go much smoother. The install for the Curtain 3 is fairly simple. The SwitchBot app provides thorough step-by-step instructions, even allowing you to pair both devices at the same time. Once your curtains are hanging on the rod, you'll put one hook arm onto the main unit and then hang it on your curtain rod. Now whether you hang it on the front or behind your curtain will be determined on what kind of curtains you have. I have grommet curtains, so I'll just put them behind my curtains, but the app will provide you with further specifications for your setup. When hanging the main unit on the rod, it's important that the SwitchBot logo is facing away from the window and towards you. And then if your configurations calls for it, you'll want to install the fixer beads next. And basically what the fixer beads will do is ensure that the entire curtain closes. The last piece is really important to ensure that you get right, and that's the magnet placing. You'll want to ensure that they're placed directly in the middle of the rod wrapping around the bottom. You'll then fully close your curtains, rolling them over the magnets, and follow the calibration process in the SwitchBot app. Now what you all probably came here to see is the integration into Apple Home. And that's all done through the SwitchBot Hub too. If this is your first time pairing the Hub 2 to HomeKit, you'll want to first get it set up in the manufacturer's app, and then press and hold both buttons on the front of the unit for 15 seconds until the lights turn off and then back on again. And then find your Matter code under Settings, Matter Setup, and press Copy Code. Now you can open the Apple Home app and hit the Add Accessory button and paste your code. Keep in mind when it's connecting to the accessory and it says this may take a few minutes, they really mean it's going to take a few minutes. I think mine took almost 3 minutes, so just be patient with it. Once it's bound, you can choose the room location and name your humidity and temperature sensors. Now this is where most people get caught up, thinking that since the Hub is already in HomeKit, that the blinds and the curtains will automatically show up, when in fact, that is not the case. You'll actually need to hop back into the SwitchBot app and go back to the Matter settings of the Hub 2. And now under our Matter code, we have the ability to add secondary devices to our Hub. So I'll go ahead and add all of mine. The curtains, the blind tilt, the SwitchBot lock that gained Matter support a month or two ago. And now you can open HomeKit back up and see that all of your SwitchBot devices are now visible. Be aware that if you're having trouble finding them, that for some reason, all of the devices initially appear in the default room. It is important to know that if you already have the SwitchBot Hub 2 exposed in HomeKit, and you're just adding the curtain, or you plan to add more curtains or blinds in the future, that you don't need to go through this whole pairing process again. All you have to do is go back to the Matter settings under the SwitchBot app and add it as a second accessory. It's also equally important to know these two things. Number one is that you can currently only pair up to 6 secondary devices to a single hub. Now this number is expected to be raised in the future. And number two is that if you have to do any recalibratings of your curtains, this can't be done natively in HomeKit and it'll have to be done back in the manufacturer's app. There are many different ways to control your smart curtains. The simpler ways include using the app to control them and using voice commands through your HomePod. Then there's what I like to call the more conventional ways to control them, and that can be accomplished through a HomeKit controlled button like the Aqara mini switch, or even something a little fancier like the Nanoleaf lights. If having a physical control that isn't exposed to HomeKit isn't a deal breaker for you, then I'd recommend the SwitchBot wireless remote. So far, it seems to have the fastest response and it's probably the easiest setup. And then moving on from that is what I like to refer to as the more advanced controls. This category consists of things like taking advantage of the light sensors built into the solar panels attached to the curtain bot for sunrise and sunset automations through the SwitchBot app. If you prefer to utilize more advanced automations directly in HomeKit, you can do so thanks to the power of the Aqara FP2 sensor. And if you really want to set this one up but don't know how, you can just follow these on-screen instructions. I would add a caveat that if you choose to go this route, add a time variable so that your curtains aren't opening and closing every single time you enter or leave the room. I could see this wearing down your battery pretty quickly. All in all, I'd have to say that the Curtain 3 this year is a pretty significant upgrade over the previous year's model, giving us a thinner design that's more easily hidden behind your curtains, and the hook arms have a little bit more flexibility on the independent suspension, allowing them to work with a larger amount of rods. So what do you guys think? If there's anything that I didn't mention or cover regarding the SwitchBot Curtain 3 in this video, shoot me a question in the comments and I'll do my very best to answer it. If you're interested in picking one up, use one of the affiliate links in the description to get 10% off your order. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.